Welcome to Grapple FK, everyone. Thanks for watching again. We're going straight into Ed Herman v. Mike Rodriguez, which is on the main card of the Waterson v. Hill UFC Fight Night card on Saturday night. Let's quickly look at the stats. So Rodriguez is taller by around 2.5, 3 inches. He's got substantial reach advantage, 14 centimeters. That's quite a lot, isn't it?
Very big,
Herman
yeah.
is orthodox. Rodriguez is southpaw. He lands more per minute, significant strikes. However, he's had way less experience than Herman in the UFC. And he's more accurate with his striking. But again, he's had less experience in the UFC. He's had no subs. Herman's got a sub average of 1.17. What are the odds for this, Andrew?
Mike Rodriguez is a minus 275 favorite.
That's quite substantial.
He's a big favorite, yeah.
Yeah, and Herman is what, plus what?
I haven't checked that. I can look it up very quickly.
Okay. What are your immediate thoughts on this?
My immediate thoughts are that Mike Rodriguez is quite rightly the big favorite here. Mike Rodriguez, there's lots of good things about him. He's a really good striker. He's got real power. He's a big guy. And as you said, he's got a very long reach. He throws together really nice combinations with, the punches and the kicks, Muay Thai style. Really nice. What I like about him, he looks like a mature fighter. He's still relatively inexperienced, but the way he holds himself, he's very calm, he's very relaxed. He just looks like an experienced fighter, even though he isn't.
Yeah.
He'll come in for his combinations and then he'll get out the way, then he'll reset, which I like about it. One of my concerns about Mike Rodriguez is his ground game. He's fought two wrestlers. One was Devin Clark, and in the first round against Devin Clark, Mike Rodriguez, he managed to get up after a takedown.
Yeah.
He stuffed a takedown, but then into the second and third rounds, he was really struggling. And I think that also ties into his cardio. I think in the second and third rounds, he just didn't have the energy to stop those takedowns. But then Devin Clark is a very high-level wrestler. So how much do we want to read into that, particularly for this fight? Overall, I like Mike Rodriguez. But the question is, what is Ed Herman bringing to the table, do you think?
Well, I'd say he's got a better ground game than him because he's submitted 4 or 5 people in the UFC. So that's a definite for a start. Wrestling-wise, I wouldn't say he's the best wrestler in the world.
Can I throw an interesting fact at you?
Yeah.
Ed Herman wrestled at college at Iowa University, which is a Division I school. And I think, according to some research I actually did yesterday, unrelated to this, I think Iowa is the best school for wrestling.
That doesn't really show in his fights or his stats for some reason.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to use it.
Yeah, he doesn't use it. It doesn't use it that much. However, he does use his BJJ. He has 4 or 5 submissions in the UFC. I can't remember which one. And he's fought some very high-level guys. He used to be a middleweight. He's fought Brunson, Jacare, Shields. He's coming off a 2-fight win streak. I would argue that he probably beat Vellante as well, so it should probably be a 3-fight win streak. That was a very close fight. It could have been given to him. Vellante won via split decision.
I don't think he won that, to be honest.
I don't know. I think it can be argued. Yeah.
Yeah. But Vellante, I think the striking up were very similar. Vellante pushed the pace in that fight, and ring control is one of the key scoring metrics for the judges. So I think that's probably what tipped them over the edge. But anyway, that's a bit of a tangent.
Yeah. Well, anyway, he's coming off a 2-fight win streak. Mike's coming off a 1-fight win streak. I think overall, I favor Mike as well, but I'm surprised that he's such a huge favorite in this. I know Ed Herman's 39, but he's very, very experienced. He's had a lot of fights in the UFC. And let's be honest, Mike Rodriguez hasn't had the best career in the UFC so far. He's 2-3 technically. So he's not that consistent. He hasn't really beaten anyone who's very good. He KO'd in his last fight, he KO'd Marcin, who's a Polish guy that came out of one championship. He was destroying people in one championship, and then he lost 3 in a row in the UFC. So why is he such a big favorite? I think the bookies have taken into consideration Herman's age. Herman likes to come forward, throw shots, relies on his cardio, and maybe they're thinking that he hasn't got much in him anymore. But I think for more of the risky gamblers out there, I think it makes sense to put some money on Ed Herman in this fight. I can see ways of Ed Herman winning this fight. However, I think overall, I favor Mike Rodriguez, but I would say I favor him 65-35, 60-40. Not in the way the odds are showing.
Yeah. Ed Herman is a plus 200 underdog, so there's definitely value there if you think.
Yeah, there's value there for what are they called? Speculative bets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, it did cross my mind that maybe Ed Herman could grind out a decision. But the thing is with Ed Herman...
Or submit him.
I was just looking at his submissions. He hasn't submitted anybody since 2013. So I'm thinking
Rodriguez hasn't got any ground game, right? Or he has a lack of ground game.
It seems undeveloped, but not terrible.
Yeah.
You know, if you can stop a takedown and get up once Devin Clark's taken you down, you know, you've got something there.
Yeah, so let's analyze these stats a bit further. So these are Ed Herman's stats. Takedown accuracy 48%, takedown defense 59%. So that Iowa wrestling really isn't showing in that. Or maybe I'm being a bit harsh. Sub-average 1.2. His landing and his absorption of shots is relatively similar, but as I said, he is one of those come forward, take a shot, give a shot fighters. Normally, let's quickly skip to Mike Rodriguez's stats. No subs, takedown defense 38%. That's worrying.
I think that's skewed by Devin Clark.
Yeah, probably because he's only had 5 fights in the UFC, right?
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, four or 5.
But still, his takedown defense isn't great.
It's not great.
Yeah.
However, he lands more than he absorbs, and he has good striking. His striking is nice. I like his striking. So yeah, I mean, I slightly favor Slow Mike in this. I'm not sure why he's called Slow Mike. If anyone knows why he's called Slow Mike, please drop a comment.
Talking of slow, one of the critiques I have about Mike Rodriguez is his hands do look a little bit slow. And in the John Allen fight,
yeah,
John Allen was landing first, and that was
John Allen won that, right, and then got disqualified.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, John Allen, he grapple fucked him, but on the feet he was also landing first.
Is that? I mean, his hands look relatively fast to me. Is that more to do with him waiting for his opponent to land first?
Or to counter strike?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Because I've seen him in fights wait for longer than I thought was needed.
Okay. In the Adam Milstead fight,
I can't remember which fight it was. There was 1 or 2 fights I saw where I thought, why is he taking so much time? But I mean, you know, some fighters are like that. They like to feel people out. They like to counter strike. They like to feel someone's power initially, which is stupid in my opinion, but some fighters do that. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think I favor Slow Mike in this. I mean, he's substantially younger. He's taller. His reach is 14 centimeters longer, which is huge. But I'm not sure why he's such a heavy favorite. If he was coming off of... Sorry, carry on.
I think he's such a heavy favorite because how does Ed Herman win? I don't think he's going to get a submission. I don't think he's going to take it to the ground at all. I think it's going to be a stand-up fight. And Ed Herman's striking is slow. It's very unsophisticated. He keeps his hands down. He just seems to win by just walking forward and just...
Yeah.
What's the word? Just surviving longer. Or maybe relying on the cardio. If he can,
that's what he relies on.
If he can steal one of the earlier rounds and maybe steal the third round, that's how he wins. And he gets split decisions a lot of the time. He has knocked a few
guys out, but he's not really a KO guy. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and that's a good point. His KOs typically come from knees. He's got good knees, and then he finishes them with ground and pound. Against a taller guy like Mike Rodriguez, is he going to get his knee up to his face? I would say
good point.
Probably not, or at least it's going to be a lot more difficult.
However, he was at middleweight for a substantial part of his career. Well, for all of his career before he went up to light heavyweight. I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
My concern is that Mike Rodriguez's cardio going to the third round. That's a bit of a question mark.
That's the thing. If Herman can get him up against the cage, maybe take him down once or twice, slow him down a bit.
Yeah, I mean, in the Jan
what
Valente,
happens then?
I mean, we talked about Ed Herman not using his wrestling. In the Jan Valente fight, he did go for a takedown. It is possible that he could take down Mike Rodriguez at some point, perhaps in the third round. We don't know, and we don't know how Mike Rodriguez is going to handle that necessarily. He probably wouldn't handle it very well. But overall, I think the stays on the feet. And I
mean, they're both predominantly strikers.
Yeah.
I mean, their backgrounds aside, they're predominantly strikers. That's what they do in their fights, bar a few submissions in Herman's record. But yeah, I mean, going to the overall conclusion with this, I think Slow Mike will win. However, if there are some hardcore gamblers out there, I think I might put down a cheeky bet on Herman winning this as well. Just a cheeky side bet. I think Slow Mike will go in the come.
If the odds are really good for an Ed Herman decision, I might consider it because it's not outside the realm of possibility.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not.
But I'm also going to put Mike Rodriguez in the come.
Yeah.
The question
I agree with that.
The question is, how does he win? Because Ed Herman doesn't really get finished.
Well, he has been KO'd a few times, but that's a good point.
Ed Herman typically loses. I mean, he lost via a head kick.
Yeah, he does get KO'd.
Derek Brunson knocked him out.
He's lost a few subs as well. He's lost quite a few subs.
Yeah. He typically loses.
Slow Mike's not going to sub him, so it just leaves a knockout or a decision.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a difficult one.
It is.
Given Mike Rodriguez's power, I'm going to say knockout round 1.
Yeah, and he has knocked
round 1 because the guy's got serious power.
He's got power. Yeah, I think I'm going to put Mike Rodriguez in the come just to win, and then I'll probably put an individual bet down on Herman. But I think Mike Rodriguez is likely to win this.
Yeah. So I'm just looking at the odds for an Ed Herman decision. Ed Herman by points. 9-2. Let me see what that is.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yes, that's plus 450.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I could have done that math myself, but yeah, plus 450.
Maybe if you combine him with someone else on the card who's also not a favorite, but that could potentially win, that could get a better return. Obviously, could look into that.
I think that's a really better by itself, to be honest. Plus 450.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Put a tenner down.
But yeah, but obviously that's very speculative. You know, I mean, like, you don't bet.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, it's not beyond the realms of happening. I mean, I can see him. I mean, Mike Rodriguez hasn't really been in the third round that much. Herman's got good cardio. He's got a better ground game. He's got wrestling, which he doesn't seem to use, but he's got it in the toolbox. He can take a shot. He hasn't been KO'd since 2016, I think. So yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
That's probably what I'll do. I think going on to the summary, let's conclude this. I think Mike Rodriguez will win, probably via finish in the earlier rounds, round 1 or 2. However, I would not be surprised if Herman won this. It wouldn't shock me, put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's a good analysis. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you thinking, Mike Rodriguez in what round?
TKO round 1.
TKO round 1.
But then I'm confident Mike Rodriguez will win. I'm not that confident about the method of victory. It could be an early TKO. It could be a decision. Yeah.
And to anyone who's watching who's new to MMA or new to gambling on MMA or whatever it is, it's very incredibly difficult to actually what's it called? Bet on something like that, a certain round or a way of winning. It's very, very difficult. And if it's easy to figure out, the odds will be shit. So the bookies know what they're doing. But yeah, Mike Rodriguez for the win.
Yep.
Stay tuned for more fighter picks. We'll see you soon. Take care, everybody.
Bye.